Pancakes are deceptively more complicated than they look. The first step, we're gonna make our batter. All-purpose flour, sifting it. It's breaking up any clumps. It's also gonna aerate the flour. It's gonna allow me to mix the batter and hydrate it more quickly, so I have less chance of over-mixing it. Baking powder is baking soda with some friends that are gonna activate the sodium bicarbonate. It's gonna create carbon dioxide, add some leavening to the pancakes. Add an egg. Melted butter should not be hot because it's gonna start to cook the egg and curdle the milk. Always add wet to dry. If you add dry to wet, it's gonna puff up and it's also gonna clump up the flour as well. This is very easy to overwork. Once all the large lumps have disappeared, it looks very even. This is when I can tell who's been paying attention in class, is that they stop mixing because the gluten has been formed. If we keep working them, we're gonna develop a product that's very strong and very gummy, which is great for things like pizza dough and bagels, but for a pancake, I wanna emphasize the cake part. I have a non-stick pan, medium-high heat. We start to see the baking soda making carbon dioxide bubbles. We're ready to flip it when the outside looks a little more dry and a little more cooked, and the bubbles breaking in the center stay open. This is another important step, but do not push down your pancake. We created all the carbon dioxide. We want to trap it in there. Pushing it down, you're going to get rid of all the air that we worked so hard. Start to smell the pancake. That's usually a good indicator that it's done. These pancakes look perfect to me. They look handmade. They're a lovely golden color. I have no complaints.
So we do have pancakes in France, but we don't call them pancakes. We call them crepes. We're gonna make what we call crêpes Suzette. It's a very old dish. You're gonna find thousands of recipes, but this one is the best. So first I'm gonna mix the epi flour. You don't want the crepes to fall apart in the pan. So you need a solid flour. Just a pinch of salt, a little, I will say, fizz on your tongue when you eat the crepes. Now the wet ingredients. 4 whole eggs. I add 3 more egg yolks. It's for the color. The consistency is gonna be a lot more moist. Vanilla paste. The paste still have the seed inside the vanilla. You get more perfume into your crepes, into your mouth. I'm gonna make a hole. Start slowly from the middle, and if I do a good job, there will be no lump at the end. So I can add my beautiful French butter, orange zest. You have to mix it a lot, but to develop the gluten, you have to leave the dough to rest for at least 12 hours. This is a special pan for crepes. It doesn't have the side too high, so it's easy to flip it. What I'm looking for is going to start to get brown around. When it starts to do that, it's time for me to flip it. It's like a French tortilla, you know. The crepes are done. Now we're going to make the sauce Suzette. I made a special orange butter. I'm going to melt the butter in the pan. We're going to add the zest, cook it for 3 minutes. Then we add the crepe in the butter, and then we flambe with Grand Marnier. It's an orange liquor. It's beautiful, has a lot of flavor, and it's good with food. Voila. Why do we flambe? We just want the flavor of the liquor. The alcohol evaporates and you only have the flavor. Voila, crêpes Suzette.
The pancake I'm going to show you today actually has some really unique elements that help keep that pancake nice and fresh, even though you might have had it 10 hours after it was made. You know, if someone's going to eat this in an airplane, up in the sky, 9 hours into their flight, it has to be tasty, be digestible, flavorful. Start with our all-purpose flour. We're going to add in our baking powder. You need to have salt in this so that the food tastes flavorful, but I can't put too much salt. That's not good for in-flight. Causes inflammation, causes swelling, so really being careful not to add too much salt. If the glucose index is too high in your food, you'll get a big sugar spike. When you're sitting in an airplane and then your sugar crashes and now you're tired and you need to go work, you don't want to be crashing. I'm adding the ricotta cheese into our eggs to add a really nice fat as well as adding protein. It's going to help lower the glucose index of the pancakes. We're adding our milk now. Orange zest, and the honey has a better glucose index than sugar you might find in your pantry. Now add our dry ingredients. We are now going to use some egg whites for leavening. It helps give me some protein. The pan's about medium heat. I don't want to have a very rich, oily dish, so just a little bit of oil just to make sure things don't stick. If they reheated this on board in just a regular old oven, they would probably be a little dry. The new aircraft, now they have combination ovens that inject steams, so these are not going to be dry cardboard. So this is the foil kit. This is what the crew would see when they pull it out of the oven ready to plate. And that whole kit is sitting in a refrigerator until it is put into the oven by the aircraft crew. And they're gonna use this all sectioned out to plate exactly the way I've plated for us here. So I'm adding some cinnamon spiced apples. We have some creme fraiche mixed with a little maple syrup in lieu of maple syrup alone. Put a little blueberries for some garnish here. Voila.
We do pancakes every single breakfast, anything from 40 to 50 orders a day. This pancake mix, we buy it, but then we tweak it. We make the way we want it. So we're gonna mix all the wet ingredients together. Sour cream is gonna give you like a sponge. Buttermilk is bitter. Like if you taste it, you say, oh my God. But this bitterness with the pancake mix, they're gonna marry together. And once they marry, it's gonna be amazing. Now we're gonna mix it. Gentle, don't go crazy on it. If you mix it too much, it's not gonna give the puff. It's gonna be like, it gets flat. The way we do pancakes in Brooklyn Diner is in the pan and we bake it because the thicker is fluffy. Normal pancakes is done in the flat top. They're thinner and most of the time they're like dry. Can you hear the sizzling? It's kind of breathing. You can see holes. That's music. I just like, oh my God, I love it. At this time, we're gonna put them in the oven. The pancake was in the oven for a couple minutes. You see it, it's nice and firm. So now we're gonna flip it. 1, 2, 3. Wow, voila. You see that? Tell me, isn't it the sexiest pancake you've ever seen in your life? Once I put the pancake, you're not gonna see the blueberry sauce. But then once you eat it, you're gonna taste it. And you're gonna say, oh my God. Once again, you might say, chef, that's too much blueberry sauce. I know, I am the chef. All right, thank you very much. Fresh blueberries for sure. Some cream on top. This is the way I do it. You wanna come to visit me, Brooklyn Diner, anytime.
A blini is a smaller pancake, savory pancake. It's traditionally served alongside caviar. We love to start our meal with a bite of caviar, and this is the perfect vehicle for it. We're adding a few ingredients here to make it more luxurious. I'm gonna mix the creme fraiche with the potato while it's still warm and get a nice emulsified base here. All my dry ingredients have a little bit of flour, a touch of buckwheat flour, which gives it a little toasty and nutty note. Gonna mix the dry and then incorporate it into the potato and creme fraiche mixture. Add my eggs, one at a time, and incorporate it. And once that's incorporated, let it rest for a little while, maybe 20, 30 minutes. So we would make this ahead of service, put it in a squeeze bottle with the top cut. Allows us to put little portions in and make it perfect round instead of trying to spoon it onto the pan. This has gotten a little bit brown and crisp around the edges. Not bad for the first one. So yeah, once they've flipped and cooked a little longer on the other side, I can tell it's cooked through. It's not mushy, it's not soft in a way that I can tell there's raw batter. So I'm just gonna pull them off, let them rest. Allow the inside, the potato, the eggs to set. So this is a little bit of egg salad. I love egg and caviar together, and then what's better than eggs and pancakes? This is a pretty classic egg salad. We do use some Japanese mustard powder to give it a little more of that pungency and bite to it. So for the caviar, I'm using wooden spoons. Traditionally, you don't want to use anything metallic because it can react with the caviar itself and give it a little bit of an off taste. Using a little bit of dill to garnish. And then if we're serving this to a table of 3 people, pop 3 little canapes on the plate. This is the perfect start to a tasting menu.
Today I'm going to make some blueberry protein pancakes. Oftentimes I will include protein in my recipes because my clients will eat this after an intense workout. They have to feed the muscles. So in a bowl, we're gonna add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, and then 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder. Combine all my wet ingredients. We have 3/4 cups of milk, 1 egg, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, as well as 1 stick of melted butter. These pancakes will not taste like protein powder. I'm using a vanilla protein, so it's gonna actually complement the blueberry taste. Blueberries are another healthy aspect you can add to your pancakes. They're full of antioxidants, and they're gonna add a nice pop of color. Little hint of salt. And our batter looks ready, it's nice and thick. I do have to make pancakes in large quantities for my NFL clients because these are grown men that eat like monsters. And using a griddle is ideal so you can put a lot out at one time and then flip them all in the order that you put them down. These are looking really good, and now it's time to plate. And these are my blueberry pancakes.
Banseo is gonna be a very thin Vietnamese pancake. You can fill it with whatever you like. In this case, with shrimp, chorizo, served with herbs, mint, lettuce, and like a sweet chili sauce. Our batter, it's gonna have rice flour. It adds lightness to the dish. It's gonna add a little bit of crunch to it. There is a little bit of AP flour in there for the structure, but the idea is to have a thin crepe as opposed to something that's kind of thicker. So we have some turmeric for some color, salt, some coconut milk, and some water. An immersion blender, this is probably one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. Okay, now that's all mixed together, we want to add scallion ends. Key here is to make sure that it sits for 10 to 15 minutes. So our pan's getting a little hot here. I want to throw a little shiitake mushrooms, a little bit of onion, some chorizo. Chorizo is going to be a Spanish cured pork product. It's seasoned with a lot of spices, in this case, smoked paprika. The diaspora of Spanish cuisine has entered a lot of different cultures in the world. And so this is a fun way of kind of having this natural integration of these cuisines. I want one single layer, kind of like an omelet. I want to make sure that it's coated completely underneath the pan. I'm looking for the sides to crisp up. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some of the bean sprouts and fold it in there. The turmeric in here, it's kind of funny, makes it look like an omelet, but no eggs in here. And served with the pancake, mint, cilantro, as well as a sweet dipping sauce.
I'm going to make the Japanese pancake. So very fluffy and lighty. I'm gonna make pancake dough. Egg is 4 pieces. Butter is room temperature. So and the special item, the yogurt. Taste is very lighty. Then flour and 5% matcha. Already mixed. Matcha is a Japanese green tea powder. Right now it looks not smoothie, but after cook, pancakes very smooth. Medium high heat fry pan. I put the rings. It's a make a round shape. I got its cover. Steam pancake is a perfect. Five, 6 minutes steam. The pancake almost done. The decoration is a custard sauce, Japanese matcha sauce, whipped cream, the strawberry and chestnuts, granola, anko, Japanese red bean paste, matcha ice cream, then last one mint, powdered sugar. There you go. There is my pancake.
Today I'm going to be making manigut or manicotti. It is a pasta or pancake baked in sauce and with melted crunchy cheese on top. So first we make the batter. Whisk together whole eggs until they are very light and fluffy. Add milk. We don't want any lumps of flour. We want some structure to them without them being bready. Rest for at least 3 or 4 hours. I'm gonna add melted butter. I add it last so we don't wind up with a greasy batter. I'm using a thin pan and it will cook very quickly so that we don't have a tough pancake. So now I'm gonna flip. No problem. Quick cook on the other side and out. I'm mixing the batter up from the bottom to the top to make sure that any flour that has settled to the bottom comes up to the top. The filling for the manigut today, we have a filling that incorporates roast pork sandwich of Philadelphia, diced roast pork, braised broccoli rabe, American provolone, parsley, and because it's manigut filling, ricotta and olive oil, our red sauce into the roasting dish. 2 little babies right into the sauce. A little more red sauce on top, some grated provolone cheese so it can get all bubbly and caramelly and cheesy. Put these in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes. I'm finishing with salsa verde, made with preserved long hot peppers, the hot pepper of Philadelphia. This is manigut in the style of Philly's famous roast pork sandwich.
We take the breakfast very seriously at the Plaza Hotel. That's the first experience at the Plaza Hotel to have an omelet or have a nice pancake. This butter is like our secret recipe since 1970. What I have added on this is the egg white foam. Gently folding the egg whites in and just making sure you will not overmix it. The egg white is very good trick for a fluffy pancake. So now we're having the clarified butter, but I'm looking for making sure the pan is not too much hot. When you flip it on the other side, it's gonna be becoming really more fluffy because of the egg white. When there is a guest ordering like for room service, it's gonna take maybe in the 18th floor. The egg white will make sure the pancake will stay fluffy and fresh. But like sugar powder, making sure it's all covered. We place our 3 pieces of chocolate chip, really giving that sweetness to the pancake. And there is one more thing we do at the Plaza to make it very special, is the stamp with the Plaza logo on top of the pancake.
I use box mix and it's just the best thing to do because it's easy. It's gonna end up sort of the same anyways. Even though you're using a box mix, vanilla extract, it elevates it, and then we're using a little bit of cinnamon because cinnamon is always great for making things feel cozy. I don't like to pre-measure my butter. I like to add it in my hand or with the stick because I feel like you can tell the amount better that you're gonna put in, and if it starts to become too much, then it's not all already in the pan. Okay, we're gonna get out the tool. This is my pot/pan cover. I like putting lids on pancakes because I think it just, again, cooks faster. Ooh, that was so good. It looks so pretty. I got this at Home Goods. So maybe it's supposed to be a cutting board. I really don't think so. This is a strawberry compote I made. And we've got a strawberry that I shaped like a rose. There we go.
So today we are making pancakes with a beautiful sauce made out of frozen blueberries, cinnamon, and sugar. We receive our items pre-cooked to ensure the quality and nutritional standards. You can imagine how many kids we're feeding every single day. It's over 1 million, so we need consistency all throughout New York City. Our pancakes are at least 51% whole grain. This way we ensure a high content of fiber into the grains that we're serving daily. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pop this into the oven. We try to introduce a fresh element, and in this case, we're gonna have a nice blueberry compote. At the moment, we're just making a portion that would feed roughly 5 people, but these recipes can usually feed anywhere from 800 to 1,000 kids. Water into a heavy bottom pot, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. I have a big sweet tooth, but our meals are low sodium, low sugar, low fat. Some lemon zest, just to brighten it up a bit, and cinnamon powder, bringing some nice aromatics as well. The dairy component will be chocolate milk, our blueberry compote, and then an additional fruit, peach. Here we have a perfectly nutritional balanced meal for our kids.
That is so good.
Delicious.
Delicious.
I've been working 2.5 years at the plaza. This is my daily breakfast.
Yeah, there's nothing better than that.
I just love it.